Hello, everybody. Good morning. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. Happy April Fool's Day. I don't have any pranks planned for you. April Fool's is for rookies. You got to do pranks on the other 364 days out of the year. That's when you really can get somebody. But no, for the anxiety going through my house right now, preparing for a baby, no fools needed here. Aren't I a fool enough? So we've got Gary Turner and Teresa living separately, but still head over heels. A TMZ exclusive came out this morning regarding the two, and we're going to get into it, and then I'll play a clip of them recently on Dear Shandy podcast, not to find any evidence as to what might be going wrong, but hey, you never know in a relationship when this is the time of the relationship when some aspects may lose their luster. It doesn't mean that they're not going to work out. It just means they're no longer the hip young couple they were just several months ago when they got engaged. All right. Follow me on Instagram at DNeals. I'm also going to be on Patreon a little early today at the 11 a.m. Central Time hour. Again, we're waiting on some big news to come in on the Clayton Echard case, as far as today is supposed to be the day that his accuser responds with whatever evidence she has in his motion to compel her to release the evidence. So we're expecting for that to happen today. So far, pretty quiet, but usually when it's quiet out there, there's sharks under the water. All right, so go catch that. And then this afternoon, Bachelor Rush Hour, the hit podcast. All right, I've got the wrong graphic up, but that's not going to slow us down, even on a Monday morning. Here we go. Golden Bachelor, Gary and Teresa living separately, but still head over heels, says the article. Gary and his wife Teresa currently living in separate states, but despite the distance, the sun isn't setting on their relationship. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Sources close to the Golden Bachelor stars tell TMZ the couple who married in a golden wedding special on January 4th are doing the long-distance thing, with Gary chilling at his northern Indiana lake house while Teresa's over in New Jersey. We're told there are a few reasons why they haven't taken the leap to live together just yet, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that moving is a complete and total hassle. You're telling me we moved while 6 months pregnant. Moving sucks. Absolutely. Wow, don't they have kids? Come on, your kids are almost like obligated to help you move, right? For starters, we're told they've each got their own established homes in their respective states, and moving everything into one pad would be time-consuming. Now, I hate to say it, but can't they have both houses? I mean, New Jersey's considered regularly to be the best state in the country to live in. I know you might be thinking, what are you talking about? Those mafia hicks or whatever the hell you call them. No, if you're in the mafia, please don't shoot me. But it's a great state. It's got great school systems. Not that they need to worry about that. It's got great social programs, and it's also got beautiful summers down by the boardwalk, right? The Jersey Shore, they can go beat the beat, as it were, Gym Tan Laundry, all that. Wouldn't you love to see Gary and Teresa on a new season of Jersey Shore? It's just them taking their Prilosec. What is it called? Okay. Prilosec? Okay, whatever. Okay, I made a joke about old people. Don't come after me, boomers. It's all good. Come on now. I don't want to trigger you. All right, Teresa's still working in New Jersey and has yet to decide what she's going to do about her job as a compliance officer. Gary and Teresa are super close to their own families, and our sources say moving away from either would be difficult for them. Another key factor, they're still mulling over where to plant their love nest. We're told they're eyeing Charleston, South Carolina, as a good middle ground, especially with Teresa's son and grandchildren in that area. That said, they're still undecided. Yes, listen, I know I'm sure we have some audience coming to us from the beautiful state of Indiana, but get out of Indiana. I mean, no offense to Indiana whatsoever. I'll leave the comment section open. Give me one good reason to pick Indiana over Charleston, South Carolina. You've got the Carolina. You can go to the afternoon bars, get a happy hour, do some oysters, even though I am not a big fan of shellfish or crustacean for that matter. But either way, shucks for me. While it might sound like they're not on the same page here, our sources insist they're still madly in love and want to make the marriage work. In fact, we're told this current long-distance arrangement works for them. They've seen each other several times, and they make it a priority to make visits. He's been to Jersey a few times, and Teresa's planning to go to Indiana next month. At some point, we're told they're going to get this figured out. Gary popped the question to Teresa during the finale of The Golden Bachelor last year. It's been a while since that happened, though, and even now, they're technically apart. All right, very odd. And then the choice of words, they've seen each other several times. I mean, several times since when is the question. Since they got married, well, that's only 3 months ago. So if they saw each other 3 times, that's once a month for a 10-day visit, or whatever. But, she's no spring chicken. I mean that with all due respect. So when it comes to her job, I'm sure retirement's not too far away. Gary's retired, but also, hey, Gary, let her work. Let her make some of that money for you guys. You know what I mean? If she wants to be the breadwinner, let her win that bread. What do you guys think? Is this a doomsday for the couple? I personally don't think so. Gary might be the type where he's so busy, because here's what you got to think, right? You go, well, Gary said he wanted somebody to go travel with. Sure, yeah, no, absolutely. But now that Gary's kind of like a sort of a star in his own right of this reality franchise, the OG Golden Bachelor, maybe he's got enough on his plate that he doesn't need all the attention of a partner at this time. You know what I mean? When it's just you and your partner, nothing else going on, you got to keep yourself entertained. But the guy's got his social media thing going on. He's doing podcasts. Maybe Gary wants to do Driving with Dave. Can we get Gary on Driving with Dave? Please. I would love to. Oh my gosh. Let's start that campaign. Who knows one of Gary's kids? Get him on the phone. I'll send you a fax. Let's book you. How far away is Indiana? Should we just do this right now? Let's do this. Let's do this. Nashville to Indiana. I have no idea which part of Indiana he's in. Let's say Indianapolis. Oh, it's only 4 hours. I'll drive to Indiana. Are you kidding me? Let's go. All right, let's get Gary. Either way, here was Gary and Teresa on Dear Shandy podcast. One of our favorite podcasts. We love Shandy being Charlene and Andy, absolutely. And here's their talk about love languages. Again, it's a full hour-long conversation, and I tell you right now, if you want to know more about Gary Turner and Teresa, the best couple to pull it out of them is Shandy.
What are your love languages?
That is so... Oh, I know it. Mine is words of affirmation and physical touch. Well, if you can get 2.
Yeah.
Does Gary deliver on those?
Shut up.
And you said he was a stud.
Oh, honey, you look so pretty. Yes, I do.
I mean, you're like the Michael Jordan of words of affirmation. No one beats you.
Thank you.
I want words of affirmation. I want to have a hotline to you to give me words of affirmation as a man.
I carry around a thesaurus.
Yes. Synonyms are a dying art.
My love language is really touch, I think.
Without a doubt.
More than anything.
Below the waist or above the waist?
Oh, Andy.
Andy?
Sorry.
Andy, stop.
I don't know. It's important.
It depends on time of day.
Okay, got it.
After dark.
All right,
Andy, don't be so inappropriate.
I'd say it's probably less dependent on time of day and more about the company that you're in. If you're out to brunch, maybe not. But if you're home alone, hey, whatever, shake some bacon.
Appropriate with our lovely
I need
guests.
to know. Was touch such a touch habit?
No, touch is always nice.
Okay. Well, it's sometimes nicer. Depends on where,
Gary does like a lot of hugs.
I do.
A lot of hugs.
I really do.
Oh, that's nice. Okay, so now on to the harder questions.
Please.
What was an early hurdle in your relationship, and how did you overcome it?
Well, there is a hurdle right now.
There's a hurdle.
I still work. So that's the hurdle.
Oh.
And so, yes, when I went on the show, I'm a very, very loyal person. And I had no idea what lay in store for me, that I would be on this show for so long. I said, I'll be back in 2 weeks. I honestly thought, let me just get through the first night. And
she burned through all of her vacation days. Oh, boy. Come on. Can we live in a world where Teresa can get an extra couple weeks of vacation?
And I stayed and I stayed and I stayed. And my employer was so good to me. And before I left, I kind of said, don't worry, I'm not going to leave you. So kind of stuck with me, even though my intent, I'm not going to work until I'm 80. I am still working. So right now it's a long distance relationship, essentially. Yeah. So until we decide on a place to really live, then I can really make, a big decision to say, okay, we're going to live in this place or that place. And
so it sounds pretty reasonable, right? She's saying, I'm not going to quit my job until we even know where we're going to be moving to. That sounds super reasonable. I would think in the meantime, it's on Gerry to move to New Jersey at least 3/4 of the time. You know, he's made good money being on The Bachelor. I'm sure he's got a couple, brand deals or whatever. Live with her in New Jersey, right? She's the one with the job. She's going to be bringing in the income. You could be mowing the lawn. You know, you can find a pickleball league there. And then you go back to Indiana, one long weekend a month. I don't know. Feel like I just figured it out for you guys.
Originally, it was South Carolina. We're still not sure if that's what it is.
How do you feel about that, Gerry?
I go through phases. I guess the difficult part is I went onto the show to find my partner, and I've been retired for a long time. I wanted fun, adventure. I wanted to go and do. So that is the crux of it right now is, when does that start?
It got serious real fast over here, didn't it? By the way, do you not love their set? I don't know where they live, somewhere in New York. Can I move in there? Can I live on the couch? Can Tasha and do you have room for Tasha and myself, a baby and an old dog? Can we please?
I think the living arrangement is really secondary to the freedom of being able to go and enjoy life and do. And, this is Teresa's first week in Indiana at my house. And so we had the good fortune last night. I got my closest friends together and went to the nearby bar and grill and had a great night. And then this morning I see those same friends playing pickleball and they're all raving. It's like, oh, Teresa was so nice. And, is she enjoying her time here in Indiana? And, all positive comments. So that hurdle is still there. And right now we're dealing with it. It's just something we're going to have to find the way around.
Although coming up, we're about to be doing a lot of things together. So we'll be going away with his friends. We'll be going to Italy. So there's a lot. And then they'll be coming back here. So a lot will happen.
Oh, the Italy trip, the famous Italy.
All right, so you can go listen to the rest of that. Great conversation there, but they really pulled a lot out of Gerry and Teresa, but not. Here's what I like about Dear Shandy. They pulled a lot out of Gerry and Teresa, but organically by breaking it down with humor and good vibes. I mean, that's the way to do it, folks. That's the blueprint. Great job by Charlene and Andy there. Go check out Dear Shandy podcast. And also, when I first saw this article, they're working through their hurdles, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, whatever. It's a little clickbaity. But then after watching that video, you really do get to see that is their hurdle, where he's like, come on, let's go do things. And she's like, well, I'm still, and maybe Teresa wasn't a breadwinner earlier in her life. So now she really holds onto that pride and wants that control. And eventually, they're going to have to figure it out. Teresa politely was defensive in the sense where she's like, but we are going to go to Italy and do all these things. I get Teresa's side of things. We had the same hurdle in our relationship where Tasha would want to travel. And I'm like, I need to go establish myself in this, these different ways. So, it's healthy to figure that out and talk that out, and you don't always get the solution right away. But it seems like, look, if they were really having that issue, I don't think they'd go on a podcast and talk about it. So good on them. All right, we got a lot more content coming your way. Join the Patreon if you want to be part of our behind-the-scenes live stream as we try to figure out what the heck's going to go down on today, April Fool's Day 2024.